dream, that dream is green. And I don't mean material things. Freedom to the land, child, woman, and man. As we take up for what we stand. Better days and better nights. As we stand and unite. We're one and the same. Why is it so hard not to point and to blame? Better sheet, get our houses in order and we'll see the peace. There are steps that we must take if we wanna see.
I see my people rising, no more stopping us. Couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us.
The sake of us, the sake of us.
I see my people rising, no more stopping us. Couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us. No more failing, telling me beneath. What a beautiful moment, and a sight I can't wait to see. Even if I miss it, at least I wasn't part of the mission. Changing lives of men, women, and children. Our glory goes to He that causes us all to be. Oh, and if they're thinking we can, we show them that. Just as long as we stand, a monument. We the people can't be broken as long as we stay focused. I see my people rising, no more stopping us. A couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us. For the sake I see my people rising, no more stopping us. A couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us. I see my people rising, yeah.
Shalom, shalom, lekulam, shalom, lekulam. I am Princess Amuna or Nasika Amuna, and here I have with me my lovely guest.
Shalom, shalom, lekulam, Yasmin Shamar, El Bait Shamar. Shalom.
Shalom, and welcome everyone to another Fabz chat. Just two sisters coming on, talking about our experience as little girls, to grown women, to now young wives, and beyond. And next is motherhood. So we're just here talking on points that we think are important. And also we have icebreakers. I sent you the questions to WhatsApp. So we have some questions that we're going to go over as icebreakers. But today our topic is stranger danger. Stranger danger. So we're just going to talk a little bit on that and the importance of, particularly as women, young women, traveling women, business women, to have emergency contacts. But not only that, if you can help it, to make sure you're traveling with a friend or having some type of presence with you, whether it's a male presence, or if you can't do that, have some other sisters ride with you or go with you, especially if you're going long distances out of town, because kidnapping is on the rise, and we're going to look at the statistics of that. But first, we're going to ice break with a few questions. And since I'm the host, I'll start those two questions off for you, my sister. All right, so we have a list of questions, and we test how well we know one another. And we get like a few questions, and we ask, and then when we have enough of people in the audience, we usually try to get you all to tag along with us to see if you possibly know. All right, so 2 questions. What is my go-to comfort food?
Ooh, your go-to comfort food? Let me see. Um, I want to say mangoes. I know you enjoy mangoes, but I also know you enjoy pomegranates. Um, I know you'll also eat avocados. So I'm trying to think as
Delicious.
a comfort food. Hmm.
Yes.
What would your comfort food be? I feel like so you've eaten quite a few things like and you like if that's something that I just really wanted to eat, that's what you would have.
Okay,
Um,
so I can narrow it down because I do love fruit, so think of the fruit comfort food and then think of like the food comfort food outside of fruit.
outside of fruit. Okay, so if we're looking at it more outside of fruit,
This one's easy.
is it easy? I don't know. You have a lot of stuff that you like a comfort food that's not. Was it like those chickpea snacks?
No, not
Okay.
the snack.
say,
Holy moly.
say the orange triangle shaped ones.
Oh my goodness.
Your comfort food that's not a fruit.
This one is so easy. So I don't want to give you too many hints.
Is it really easy?
Yes. I introduced you to it. You
Uh,
didn't like it at first. When you first tried it at a restaurant, you did not like it.
sushi?
Yes.
Wait, okay. I'm like
Yes.
sushi. That was difficult because I had to really think. Like, there's a lot of stuff I should have thought more along the lines of seaweed. But
Yes.
sushi, that is your comfort food.
Good job. You had one strike. And you would have been out of there. All right. So this one's easy. Am I a morning person or a night owl?
I think you're a morning person
Holy moly.
because you fall asleep pretty easily.
Like my business like that. Okay, so let's be more specific. I fall asleep easy if it's, I don't know what it is, but good movies and good shows lullaby me to sleep. I don't know. It isn't even boring. It's just something that if it's a good show, if it's like at 9 or 10 o'clock, then I'll fall asleep. But no, that's no.
Okay, so no, you're more of a night person. Just don't
Yeah.
watch interesting movies.
Yeah. It depends. Like I said, it depends on, I don't know. Sometimes I fall asleep with real interesting. Oh my goodness. Hoobie.
Right.
So yes, I am a night person. Honestly, I think the reason why you hesitate is because since I've been working, I have to get up early. So I'm accustomed to waking up early, but I am not a morning person. I'm not a morning person. I actually yeah. Never mind. I'm not a morning person. I'm not a morning person. All right, you all. So now that we have the icebreakers down, we're going to go ahead and get into our topic of today, which is stranger danger. It's not the usual topic, stranger danger, but there's a pause in there, stranger slash danger. Because all the time, I do want to say this, all the time, it's not so much the strangers that are dangerous. Sometimes there are strangers, not in many cases, but sometimes strangers in certain cases are more friendly and even safe than individuals you have probably known for years. Most family predators, or even in homicides, they say a lot of times it's people that the family have known for years. And you know us with this, with Fabz Chat, we're going to try to throw statistics out there. We're going to speak on how we feel and things of that nature, but we're going to always throw some statistics out there. So that's why there's stranger slash danger, because not all strangers are dangerous. Potentially, yeah, but realistically, not all strangers are dangerous. Our topic of discussion today is more so on the importance of, as young women, period, elderly women, little girls, to come up with a solution on putting ourselves in danger. That may sound very like putting yourselves in danger, but you're potentially putting yourself in danger every time as a woman when you leave the house by yourself and you leave the house without letting anybody know. I hate that's the world that we live in, but it's just the reality of it. Um, before I go into the statistics, did you want to say anything in regards to that?
Kane, I do, Slika. Kane, just really just wanted to kind of point out the importance of this discussion and this topic, and like saying how I believe how relevant it is, and yeah, I believe it is very relevant, and more specifically, not to negate whatsoever the importance of when men go out and about, but it's just being able to see, like say, the statistics for the different genders, and like why it's important for us to know these things. And I'm looking forward to being able to get into some solutions and
Mm-hmm.
different things that we can share like that will be able to help secure, I believe, those of the women of our communities, as well as, you know, people in different other communities, to be able to share and see the importance of, I'll say, accountability when it comes to strangers and when it comes to danger.
Kane. All right. So I'm going to pull up. Um, I'm going to pull up a few statistics because I know someone might come on and say, "Well, you just pointed out one source, and that's not fair." So I agree. I'll pull up two sources. The first one is from. Hold on, you all. I don't know why it took me that one. The first one is from Google itself. I'll just be very transparent. AI overview. I just typed it in Google. What gender is most likely to be kidnapped? It sounds interesting, right? But we got to ask these questions in order to know the answers. Females, particularly women and girls, are disproportionately targeted for kidnapping, often for human trafficking, sexual exploitation through males. Though males can have cases where they are victims, especially cases tied to robbery or specific types of childhood abductions. Data shows women and girls are the largest share of detected human trafficking victims globally. And studies on stranger abductions reveal a strong male on female pattern. In other words, it shows that kidnappers are more so males and the victims are more so females. I think all of us knew that answer, but it's good to be able to read it out. That's AI overview. Now we're going to look at Statista. This is a site that shows the statistics more so in numbers. Numbers of missing persons filed in the United States in 2024 by age and gender. And already I'm looking at a huge difference with male and female. All right. So, wow, this shows under 21, and then 21 and over. All right. So for 2024, the stats of missing persons under 21 for males, it is 169,412. For females, 198,686. And if you all, let me just show you. I'm going to share my screen. How about that? So you all can see exactly what I'm looking at. I'm going to share my screen. Give me just a second. I think it's best to share. All right, can you see this? Can you see?
Kane, it just has the yellow squares.
All right, give me a second to fix that. I don't know why it does that, you all. All right. I'm on the wrong one. Not on the sharing screen. All right, so this is what we are looking at. It is called, I think, Statista, and this is the statistics here. This was in 2024. This isn't even 2025 or 2026, how many new victims have been kidnapped. But as we can see, the males is the lighter blue Females is are the darker is this darker color. I don't know if that's like a darker blue. It doesn't look black, so it's more like a dark blue. As we can see, so for 21 and over, the statistics are a little higher. Number of missing persons, 21 and over in 2024, it showed 101,686 males, and women, it was only 63,584. This was in 2024, 21 and older. That is an interesting take on that. Hold on, y'all. Let me get back to our screen. All right. That is not it. All right. There we go. I don't know why this thing gives me trouble, but there's another one that I wanted to look at where it shows missing persons. So this one was under 21. Females under 21, of course, because we know that, well, for those that might be a little familiar with trafficking, if it's a specific type of trafficking, a lot of times the young ladies are under 21 that we've noticed they've gone over. Me and my sister, before we were married, we used to binge watch trafficking documentaries, especially being young ladies under 21. We wanted to get ourselves a little knowledgeable of how that field worked because we were not going anywhere by ourselves, and we liked to educate ourselves on what was actually going on out there in the hidden realm of things, because trafficking is something that's talked about, but it's not really focused on, in my opinion. It's kind of skimmed over a little bit, and then it's kind of put to the side. And I think it should be talked about because it does happen. It does happen. Did you want to input anything, my sister?
Came, like you were saying, we started watching a particular documentary, and I think at the time we were considering going to college together, and we were talking about what to be on the lookout for, and it was like one of the terms that would usually get young ladies was studying abroad. It's like to go abroad.
Yeah.
It was like it made them feel like, oh, I have an opportunity to spread my wings, to do something different. I was like, expand, my borders. And a lot of times that meant taking them from where they are now, where there's certain, laws and things where you're not like, there's certain things that you can't do over here that over there you can do. And it makes it a lot harder to be able to get them. So that was a major talk, was like knowing certain terms and knowing like how to identify when you are possibly in an environment that could be conducive to people, what they call it, profiling you, stalking you, watching you, just kind of want to be like an eagle eye over you and see what type of patterns you have to see if you are a type that they could possibly engage or, possibly look to go after. So yes, we made it a point, to educate ourselves, watching documentaries, reading different papers, watching like specific like docu-series, I believe they call them, on trafficking and the importance again of just like things that can be done to maintain safety, not just for ourselves, but even things that we can share for loved ones and be able to inform them, and things that we can do now, especially I'll say with how technology is, there are things that we can do to be able to help and safeguard one another, even different from different locations, having safe words to text, quickly, like in emergencies, like, okay, code red or, code yellow or whatever code, you want to use. I believe that this is something that is important to know. Again, this is something important for I would say for both men and women to know, for both little boys and little girls. That way little boys know what to look out for, whether they're with their sisters, whether they're just with other young ladies. They will know what to look out for, and then they will know how to properly safeguard those that are with them as well. And that way is everybody can be safeguarded, and we can start really working toward and implementing, and even just kind of requesting input from those that are listening, on things that you believe would be good suggestions on making sure that stranger danger is, I would say, discussed as well as having a plan for it. So,
Kane, yeah, I appreciate that you added that in there. And I'm sorry I had to make sure we were live on both Facebook. We're live on Facebook now. So for any of those that might come across the video and you just came in, we've been on for about 20 minutes. We're discussing stranger danger, and we're talking specifically on as women, not more so men, more so women and men. But again, we're focusing in on the importance of women not going out by themselves and the potential risk you have as a target of going out by yourself, and or just not having a support system that knows where you're going and what time you might be back, and just looking at the statistics on how many women go missing in a year and even unfortunately within a month. But more so importantly, well, I had looked at some statistics earlier that pointed to, unfortunately, as so-called Black women, it says that we have a higher rate of being kidnapped and, for the sake of being on live, unalived during a kidnapping, more than Hispanics, more than so-called white women. As so-called Black women, our statistics are higher probability of being unalived while kidnapped. So, as young women who are identified widely by others as so-called Black women, or as they would say, African American women, we know that we're somewhere in that possibility, in that range of being a target. So we want to make it known that this is something that should be talked about. My Isha, of course, is big on safety. My sister's Isha is big on safety. So if we know that as a target, what our outcome is 98% of the time, why not bring some type of awareness to it? Again, if you were not here earlier, oh, that one closed out. The statistics read that females particularly are most likely to be targeted for kidnapping, often for human trafficking and sexual exploitation. Of course, it says though males can also be victims, especially in cases tied to robbery or specific types of child abduction, data shows women and girls are the largest share of detected human trafficking globally. So globally, this means all around the world that women, females, little girls, we are the ones that are most likely to be kidnapped or trafficked. Again, not to say that males aren't, but it said that the cases are a little more specific when it comes to them. So I think that it is important that if you are a woman, and again, it's not easy for everyone to say, all right, well, my brother or my husband or my son or my cousin's going to ride with me to the store. It is as easy as, all right, if you're in a group chat, and that's the thing today, group chats are the thing. You can put in that group chat, hey, you guys, I'm getting ready to head out, especially if you're going to be out for hours. Mm-hmm. I think one of the scariest things that I think of is if a woman goes out, right, and her friends know that she's prone to be out for a couple hours, what if you are taken in that first hour? It's already detected, or it's already normal for you to be gone those many hours. That means that those extra hours where they haven't even suspected anything is wrong are more hours where harm could be done to you, possibly unalived, assaulted, many things, trafficked, taken to a place so you can be taken out of the country or out of the state. It may seem like it's, oh, that's over the top, but the statistics, like, they don't lie. When I come on social media, it's always someone missing, always a little girl, always a new little so-called, brown girl up there missing. And we know for a fact that our cases, they don't get out there. They don't get the support that they need. They had to make movies on it because we don't get that type of exposure. Mm-hmm. So if we know that other companies aren't going to do it, other outlets aren't going to do it, as so-called, again, Black women, young women who have been watching documentaries on it for years, have, from what we know, been taking the precautions to be safe, why not share it with someone else? Because it could be your sister, it could be your wife, it could be your daughter, it could be your cousin, it could be one of those ladies and you just You just want to make sure that you did your part in making sure that it is known that this is what is going on. You have any input in my sister?
Kane, my sister. I absolutely do. Just basically in agreement, with what's been said thus far, being able to again take those precautions, um, so that loved ones, whether blood or whether just like dear friends, or even if it is distant relatives, I won't just speak it for somebody, that's close in, because I wouldn't just, I don't just want for my sister as a woman, to be safe,
Mhm.
or if my family to be safe. And it's like, if it's a woman I don't know, it's just like, well, I don't know her. But no, just thinking about the wellness, because what starts to ache my heart is the thought that, you know, these pictures that we see, this is somebody's daughter, this is somebody's sister, this is somebody's niece, this is somebody's grandbaby, that's missing. So like if we can start to again implement things that can start to help, not just bringing awareness, but action that we can put in with being able to be accountable, knowing where each other knowing each other's locations, um, and having again just different ways that you can communicate, like letting people know where you are, to where if something seems like it goes a bit off schedule, it's like, okay, now it is raising, awareness. Is I believe that that is important, whether it's, siblings, even spouses, the family, again, just family expanded, where it's like, okay, being able to keep and maintain that contact, like say having a group chat where it's just like, hey, like our biggest thing is if we have been together for, like the weekend, our thing, everybody's thing is like, or if we've been together, I'll even say for a feast day, and it's like people we've just met, and it's like, hey, if I have your information, like especially a woman traveling, like either by herself or out, like even couples traveling by themselves, because they still can be looked at as being targeted if there are multiple offenders looking like, oh, even though there's a man,
Yeah.
there's a woman, they could look and try to plan something to harm the male and get to the woman. Our thing is like, let us know when you get home. Let us know how your trip is going, especially if people are tired. If you have to travel, whether state to state or in the same state, and um, it is a long distance away where you might have to stop at a gas station, and oh, you're tired, you will look like, okay, you will look vulnerable. Like you're trying to stretch, you're trying to get, the coffee, or you're trying to get your fruit juice, you're trying to get something to keep yourself awake. Any stop, that you have to make, that could be an opportunity for somebody to look at you as being a possible target, or look at your family member. So again, just
Right.
um, having that communication. And I see where Ahigado um, put something in, if it could be brought up, that can be used for family and friends.
Kane. Life 360 app for family and friends.
Now, is that something that is available for both iPhone and Android? Um,
I
that way we can
think
make
so.
sure, 'cause that I think that is something again that is beneficial to have. That way we can always see, even if you might not be able to get out exactly a text message or a voice message. Voice
Mhm.
messages are quick, but oftentimes you do, if you are in a bit of a hustle and bustle, trying to quickly go into an application to send somebody a voice message and press the record button, there is, quite a bit of time that needs to go into doing that action. So having things such as family apps that can help
Mhm.
keep up with one another, or if you're in a situation where you can text, or you might be able to leave a voice message, but the safest thing is to text, having
Kane.
a family code, having something. It could just be like, okay, posting a pineapple, and like a pineapple, maybe the cow emoji, and maybe the color purple. Like, just things with emojis. It might sound, like that's random. If you put something like that and your family is like, okay, no, I know them and they would not put anything out here like this unless something was going on, or unless they suspected someone could possibly be trailing them or following them. Um, I would even say, some things that can be suggested, like when my Isha's at work, if I am taking out the trash, I will be on video call with my sister, or I will be on video call with our I'll be on video call with a brother. with one of our brothers, I will be on video call with someone to let them know, or I'll be on the phone with my niece, like, hey, I'm taking out the trash, So it's different things that we can do. If you're going out for a walk, if you feel like you're going to get some air, or you're just like walking, or you're going to do anything that involves you being, outside the comforts of home and the safety of home, is again having a form of contact with someone, so that we can be able to keep tabs on one another. Or if you don't have the time to be on the, on call, or communication like that, just like that consistent communication. I know it's different for others, but being able to have it to where it's like, okay, you can see where their location is, the funny memes like nowadays where it'll be the girls talking about they're stalking their mom and basically trying to figure out, say, where does she think she's going, thinking she's grown, but they can see what store she's going to. They can see, how many stops she's made. And so it's like they'll call and say, okay, why did you stop here? What are you doing over here?
Right.
And it's comical, but it's like they're showing that they are putting in that effort to make sure that one another is safe. And I think that is a very important thing that we can do to make sure that contact is kept, as well as that accountability, and just being able to be there for that support with one another if we have to travel. And with that.
No, that was good. That was really good. Again, Life 360 app for family and friends. I believe it is compatible with Android and iPhone. But if not, you could always look for another app that does the same thing, but that's compatible with both. That's if you want to go that route. I know some people will say, and this is what people will say when it's young people, our young people need their privacy. You're 14 and 15 years old. You're not even legally considered an adult yet. And as we looked at the statistics, that's why that we have to watch our children, because if outsiders are knowing that adults are taking less precautions to protect their children, that makes them the perfect target. We're going to look at some more statistics, and we're going to look at some more viewpoints, but let's get into some questions. Now it is my sister's turn to ask me.
So we'll just ask these in order, because that's what it looked like.
Yeah, we can ask them. We can go down to the next two.
All right. So the next one is, and we were actually just talking about this the other day. What is the last movie I watched?
Oh my, I think this is gonna be easy. So she just watched was it Wicked for Good? Is that the second one?
That's the second one, but that's not the last movie I watched. I was telling you about it. It was the ones I was watching while I was finishing my hair.
Oh, hold on. Well, it wasn't Lord of the Rings.
No.
It wasn't Lord of the Rings.
No, that wasn't the last one. It was one of them. So I told you I had to watch kind of a collection of movies to get my hair done.
It wasn't 28 Days Later, because you watched that with hubby. Holy moly. Let me see. So it wasn't. Oh man, I gotta think. You told me you watched Wicked, but that was the other day. You said something about Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm. And I said one other movie.
Man. I'm going to my memory bank. Not 28 Days Later.
I'll say it wasn't. I don't know if that would give it away or not. It wasn't an American movie.
Wasn't an American movie. Oh man.
I would say like an English movie.
I'm trying to think. It wasn't anything to do with Demon Slayer. No, it wasn't, because you were watching that, of course, with your niche. I'm gonna have to come back to that one. Oh man, I don't want to give too many tries. What's the next question?
The next one is my zodiac sign, but I can go.
I didn't know that was in there. Oops.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. What's the next one?
All right. Next one is, do I have any hidden talents?
Let me see.
Or do you want me to go to the next one?
No, I think you do. Painting. You don't really talk about it, but you can paint. It was actually a memory that came up the other day with a painting of yours at where the painting and things like that. So if she had a hidden talent, it would be painting.
Oh my goodness.
That's I think it's painting. And you draw good. You say that you don't, but I think it's painting. But man, the movie, it wasn't a American movie. Oh man. And I'm gonna
It
know it
has,
too. When I say it.
I think it has like a 3 or 4 part series.
3 or 4 part series, and it's not American.
It has a song to it that I like listening to.
And it's not American. I just know that I'm gonna know what this is. I don't want to give up. Hold on, hold on.
Okay.
Give me like 5 more minutes. No, I was kidding. Not that many. Breathes fire. Oh, we talking about the hidden talent.
That would be cool, but no, that is not my hidden talent.
Oh man, not American, and it has a 3 part series.
Yes, we thoroughly enjoyed it.
Is it? It's not anim. Is it animated?
Live action.
Live action. I think you told me, you was like, I was going back through something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I give up. I give
Oh.
up. Remember. Oh man.
It's all right. It was Rurouni Kenshin.
Oh man. See, I knew it was something on the lines of that. Yeah, that would have been a hard one to guess. Oh, I love Rurouni Kenshin. That was a very interesting movie to go through, or series to go through.
Yes, but that was the last movie that I finished my hair to.
Okay. All right. So we really plan on only being on for about an hour today. So if you end up going back and watching this, we hope that you like it. So let us pull up the like, comment, and subscribe if you would. And if you don't want to subscribe, maybe put a comment down saying what you would like us to talk about next time. Something that you think might be pressing that the community needs to know. All right, so let's get back to it, and then we'll come back for some questions. All right. So I want to look up something because I know that in this stage of life that it is pushed heavily for women to get out there and get their bag. Women, get out there, do what you need to do. I am not against women doing what they need to do, especially if you put it like this. We're a part of a culture. We have a certain system of belief that we do. So it's not super surprising to me when people outside of the culture do something different, because that is what they're used to, or that is what they were brought up in. A lot of times we get so super surprised that other people are doing things like, they're not in the culture you're in. So of course they're not going to do things like you do. But I would definitely say it is important to not ignore what is really going on. Women are being snatched, young girls are being snatched, and we're going to look at some reasons as to why. All right. Being alone is a significant risk factor that predators look for when targeting victims for kidnapping or other violence. Other violence, I think that goes without saying, especially as women. A lot of times on that is assault, sexual assault. So it is very important knowing that that is something that a lot of people who have spirits, a lot of people who have no self-control, that is what they're looking for. They're looking for a victim that is alone. And I know this may be uncomfortable to talk about, but if someone is looking to sexually assault you, it would make sense if you're alone. It's easier that way. If someone's trying to get you by yourself, that's a different thing. They're going to have to go through a lot of loopholes to get you by yourself, lure you, and then do something. But if you're by yourself, you're automatically an easier target. All right. So when it says kidnapping or other violence, that could mean unaliving. But as for us as women, we know that particularly that forceful act is definitely one of the ones that we're talking about that women need to be aware of. Isolation is considered an immediate risk factor. Isolation is considered an immediate risk factor because an attacker is less likely to commit a crime when they think there is a chance of being caught. Safety experts and law enforcement recommend taking precautions to avoid isolation and increase personal safety. Not just law enforcement, but us here as young women, saying that there's a way that you can do it. And someone might say, well, you all are married, so that doesn't apply to you. Our husbands work, and there's always opportunities where we might have to do something when they're not there. Like my sister said, there sometimes she has to go out, and you still have to have precautions in place. Like she said, it could be a what's the word? Not a panic word, something of that nature. But what were your words exactly? I don't remember exactly your words.
Something that's like spontaneous or sporadic or
Um, uh, an alert word, like a
like a
code
panic word, a code word.
word or a code word, something like that. Or a lot of people have those doorbell cameras, and those
Yeah.
things pick up a lot of things that we wouldn't have known if those weren't invented. People have made death threats at those things, not knowing that they're there or just not caring. There have been videos of men following women. I watched one today. This woman, she was about to go into her apartment, and she was going in. The guy was like following right behind her. I don't know if she just had great instincts or what, but she turned around right before it looked like he was about to do something. She stood her ground. She talked to him, not aggressively, but she talked to him with authority. And then he was, acting like he didn't know what she was talking about. He ended up walking away. Then she got in the house real quickly, and I think she had a sister or a friend come over. And then he went back to the door. I don't know if he knew she had a camera or not. I'm just like, your face can be seen. But he went back to it, and I think they ended up calling the authorities. But yeah, there are people that will even wait for you to try to get into your house. I mean, that's one less step they have to do is break in if you already open up your door. So it is important to have your head on a swivel, especially if you're a woman that lives by yourself, or if you're just you happen to be coming home by yourself. Because again, unless a predator knows your every step and he has watched or she has watched everything you're doing, they don't know if you're alone or not, or if you live by yourself, unless there's someone that is strategically stalking you. You might have some people, hey, you live by yourself. And to me, that's a weird question. Like, who randomly asks a woman, do you live by yourself? Then as women, we have to be careful not to entertain everything. That's why I'm not saying you can't take compliments from, this is weird, you can't take compliments from stranger men, but you just have to be careful. You have to be careful because not everyone complimenting you is meaning what they say. Some people are really just trying to, slowly but surely see what your mindset is. Is she open to just talking to a random guy? Okay. Well, if she's super friendly, that might be. And again, it's not to say you can't be friendly and you can't be kind, but you just have to be careful. You just have to be careful. Because I don't know a lot of the kidnap victims if they knew they were about to be kidnapped, if they knew they were about to be trafficked. And unfortunately, if they did, I believe a lot of them would have moved differently if they really did know. If they really did know. So yes, avoid walking alone in isolated or dimly lit areas, especially at night. Use the strength in numbers principle. Criminals are less likely to attack a group than an individual. Of course, I mean, because they're going to have a lot of calls to deal with if they do that. So again, we're not just saying something because we believe, as a woman, you're just supposed to be bound up and not being able to do anything. We're just realistically saying if you're going to do it, be careful. Because if I'm opening up the app and every time I open up the app, this girl's missing, this young girl's missing, in my mind, I'm like, well, what can be done to help some of this? Like, even if someone might say, well, if you have a tracking app, you can still get kidnapped. But that's better than speculation that, well, we thought this person was here the last time. You can see on their tracker app. And if the person is still having their phone, if they're in motion, you can see it. Just different things, Right. And someone could say, because you have to think about all the points that people might say. Well, as a teenager, they can take off the tracking app. As a grown woman, she can turn off the tracking app. Well, at that point, you've done all you can do. If it's there for safety and someone chooses to negate that, you've done what you can do, But it's important. I feel like you got something you want to say.
Okay, and I do. Um, reliance does not mean weakness.
Mm,
I know for like sometimes I'll say, especially for our women, it's like if you have to rely on somebody, it almost seems like it's because it's like you're weak and you have to prove, well, I can do this, on my own. It's like I can manage, I'll have pepper spray, I'll have things, and I'm not knocking whatsoever having things, maybe on your persons that can help, to safeguard you. But if you're one that does not like having that stuff and you just kind of want to use your presence alone, there are people that are weird enough to be attracted to you wanting to be strong, standing on your own and resilient. And they will look at that as a challenge. And so, like, again, like reliance is not a weakness, as women. I feel like it has a lot to do with how it's like, okay, if you like, you have to try and prove that you can be, strong on your own and independent and things like that. But I believe it starts to bring fault when it's like, okay, it's now endangering to feel like, okay, you're fine walking home alone. You're fine walking to the store alone. It's like you don't really need anybody to rely on because it's like, okay, you can handle it. You can do it. Being confident is one thing, being safe and wise is another. And still having that, like say that protection, having that care, and being able to accept the consideration and the care that others might want to show. It's like, oh, hey, you know you might be used to walking home by yourself, but if you have someone that's like that you a family member you talk to enough to where they're like, hey, I've been seeing this going on, these young ladies have been saying to been missing still, wanting to put in the effort to make sure that you are doing okay. And again, for some, it might just be a normal thing. It's like, well, you've been on your own for so long that it just seems like it's normal. But when there is a safe, healthy option and opportunity for there to be people like, hey, we're putting together like a sisters group chat where we just gonna make sure we can all be accountable, especially with how social media is. Like, you might be in like states and states away from somebody, but at least having that ear, having that voice, having somebody know um, your like regular whereabouts, knowing where you commonly go, or if you are one that likes to try new places, at least they know. It's like, look, y'all, this girl is gonna be all over the map, but at least they can keep up with where you're going enough to know where it's like if anything starts to look abnormal, if it starts to be like, well, hey, her signal, like it dropped here, it stopped here, it's not looking too good. Um, I had watched a movie. What was it called? I think it was called like Finding Joy or something like that. And it basically is a friend who traveled. Where did she travel to? That girl travels to is it not Tennessee? Is it Idaho? I think it's like Idaho or something like that. And she has her two friends that are back in New York, and they have a tracker on her phone. And soon as they saw something, so she gets lost in like a snowstorm, being out there in this new place, this little town and stuff. Her friends are calling all the police they possibly can, and they do eventually get her found. Like, it was comical. But they still had a track on their phone, so they said this is not like her to go 3 days. They was like, let alone a day without talking to us, especially traveling. And they were able to find her. They were able to have, authorities and stuff go and get. So when they got to her, she was fine and things like that. For those that know it, probably already know it's like a little story. But anyways, but like just the concept of them being able to have it to where again, she was in another state, hours away from them, but their whole focus and point was like, hey, this is not like her to not make contacts and then to just have her signal just drop where it's like she turned it off. They was like, none of us ever turn off our like our locations where we can't see where each other are, or see where we are. And so having that reliance again, that there is strength in that, to know that there's somebody that's like, hey, I'll ride out for this person. Like, you let me know if something's looking kind of, fishy, just let me know, and I'll see what I can do to get assistance that way. But yeah, it's like reliance doesn't mean weakness. And I think it's oftentimes expected for us as women just to kind of, I don't want to say thug it out, but it's like you're expected to just kind of, strong woman through it. Like, okay, you have to try and prove a point, when it's just like, don't let a point trying to be proven end up whether you've been on a missing poster. And it's like that just goes like not ever just throwing caution to the wind. Like you have to keep your head on the swivel and wanting to be considerate of other young ladies. Like I've seen the posts, of women like some being a girl's girl where they like, I don't think this guy this young lady knows this guy, and they will go and be like, hey, let's go over here, let's get a drink, or let's go over here, let's do something. And it's like that's the situation that they've just kind of helped get them out of. And I think stuff like that is important. Just being watchful of our surroundings as well as being considerate and like, okay, hey, are you good? Like, you have a way to get home, like, what's what? Like, you need somebody to walk you to your vehicle, different things like that. So, that having that reliance, I believe it does make a world of a difference, and being able to be that support. And so, yes.
King, that was a powerful mouthful. That was powerful. I like that you said it's better to have reliance than me paraphrasing it, than having pride and ending up on a t-shirt or ending up somewhere on a sign. Like I don't know what that feels like to have a loved one missing, and they didn't run away, they're not just lollygagging, but you legitimately believe that someone has taken your baby or taken your sister, your loved one. I know that happened here in South Carolina. I think it was the month before last, where there was this older woman. She had been missing for a good minute, you all. And it wasn't even too far from where we stay. They ended up finding her body. It was an older woman, and they didn't put too much out there on it because, again, our cases, you all, you can look it up. As so-called Black women, our cases, they come and they go. They come and they go just like that. The video was just gut-wrenching because the people that discovered her, they just, it was cries of despair out there. A lot of people, I guess, looked up to the woman in the community, and the way they found her body, her body was undressed in the bushes somewhere. I'm just like, how did not anyone, but her body had been discarded in the bushes. Again, that was not too far from even where we stay. So we're not just saying this because, as people say, it's trendy to be a young wife. No, we're saying that because it's better to be safe than sorry. You have people looking, Shalom, Mordanani, welcome in. You have people that are worried about you and that care about you. And all the time, these things aren't on people's minds because there's so much other things going on. And when people end up having a loved one go missing, a lot of times, especially where there is sickness or missing, whatever the case is, we can think like, I never thought it would have been me. I never thought it would have been my sister, my mother, my brother, and that's something, most high forbid, I never want to wake up and they're like, well, we don't know where your etc. is. If you put everything in place that you can within your power, like we have put up Life 360 app, this allows you to have family and friends on a plan or a program that allows you all to know your comings and your goings. Now, I know a lot of people, and I've heard people say it, I'm a grown woman, I'm a grown man, I don't need anybody knowing where I'm going. I get it, but the question is, where are you going? Where are you going? If you have places that, and I'll put it like this, just to keep it realistic, I wouldn't be caught at any of these places. But if you're someone who say, well, I don't want my people to know when I'm going to the nightclub, well, turn it off when you're going to the nightclub if that's what you want to do. I don't think it's wise because a lot of times things happen there. We used to live close to a nightclub. The police were over there every other day. So it's like, why would you even want to? That would be the perfect place to go and have your app on. But,
Right.
Oh my goodness. That's a whole nother story for another day. But we live close to a nightclub. So the police were over there all the time arguing or shooting. So it's like, yeah, be a grown up. But at the end of the day, like we said, the statistics don't lie when it comes to this. So-called Black women going missing, period. is something that is super overlooked, and we're the main ones being missing. So to them, well, it's just another person, just another day. So we're just putting things out there. Like for my sister, and I, of course, we have our husbands. Of course, they're gonna know we are at all times. They know we are. We're letting them know, like we're letting them know. And what was I about to say? Even each other. We live in different states. My sister lives all the way up north. I live all the way down south. We're hours away from each other. But just having that extra precaution out there of, wait, we're about to go do this. She'll let me know, hey, we're about to go do this. We're about to go out. Because like she said, women do go missing, but let's just say it's a case where people are looking and you have extra predators who are looking for extra people. Like, hey, that's not like them. We know they went here. We haven't heard from them since, and it's not normal. We look at the patterns. It's not normal. All right, let's see. We have a comment. If we know each other's whereabouts, we wouldn't have these long-term missing person cases, especially among our people. That is right. That is right. That is exactly what we are discussing. If we need to know these things. A lot of times we hear people say, I'm a grown-up, but like, you all, this isn't cultural for us to be so disconnected. You know, we're so disconnected. So that was a great comment, especially among our people. It's very known for us to know our whereabouts. Like I say, because where are you going? That's so secret. You don't want anybody to know. Like, right. Business to take care of, but like, where are you going? That is so secretive.
Right.
Kane, we just brought this up. Predators especially prey on people alone. Their safety in numbers. Absolutely.
Kane.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to get back to it. Again, we don't plan on being on long today, so let's get to some more sister questions. All right, I think it's my turn, right?
Kane, it's your turn.
All right. I think you already know these. What is my favorite season?
I'm gonna say spring. You're a spring baby. You're a new beginnings baby. Oh no, you're a spring baby, but you like the winter.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm glad you backtracked. I was like, wait a minute, you are a spring baby. Yes, I was born in the spring, April 1st. And wow, I had to endure, oh, you April Fool's baby for a long time. I was like, in my mind, I could just think of one of those memes. I gotta close that window. Because I'm pretty sure you can see the little crazy reflection. I was like, are they calling me a fool? That's what basically it was. Oh, I got that so much. I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna stop telling people it's April 1st. We're just gonna say, yeah, I was born in April. I was born in April. I had so many adults. Oh, so you're April Fool's baby. The only thing I'm hearing, a fool.
Right.
A fool.
Right. It's like the audacities. Look.
Shalom. Welcome. I'm not sure if you just tuned in, but we're actually getting ready to close. Not right now, but maybe soon. We're just going over some matters that we think are important to discuss in our community, especially as many may say brown, melanated, or so-called Black women. It's very important that we are aware of our surroundings and aware of a safe group to know our whereabouts. We've gotten so used to traveling alone, independence, and I don't need anybody knowing where I'm going because I'm a grown woman. But statistics show that as so-called Black women, our rates for being kidnapped are higher. And also with our kidnappings, we're more likely to be unalived, and our cases are less likely to be publicized versus Hispanics, it said, Latinos, Latinas, and so-called whites. That's what it is. So we have to take that precaution. And yes, we are married. Our husbands know where we are at all times, because that's important. You all, that's their obligation. People may look at it, oh, that's controlling. You all, they are supposed to step in and be responsible for you. So let them be responsible for you. What does it look like? You know, when you were younger, your parents knew where you were, and no, your husband isn't your father, but he comes in and takes that place. This man is supposed to, if something happens, risk his life for you. So if he's supposed to risk his life for you, then he has to be that more aware of where you're going, where you are, what he might need to do, where he might need to go to protect you. All right. And again, those statistics, they are scary. And then just pulling up Facebook, seeing the amount of women that are missing, the amount of pretty brown girls that are missing, it breaks my heart, because it's like, who's really looking for these babies, especially for the ones that are actually in danger. And yes, all right. So we are going to go to the next set of questions. And then we have questions that are icebreakers. We do sister questions or sister quizzes for a little extra fun and entertainment. All right. So you answered my favorite season. That is correct. All right. I ain't going to ask that one. What is, I'm not going to say my biggest fear, but what is one of my fears? You know this one. I know yours. Yours is heights. She doesn't like heights, you all.
I got a few of them. You had to rescue me from the 8-legged ones.
Oh my God. And spiders. Spiders. Goodness gracious. Nearly broke my arm for a spider about this big. They was acting like it was a monster. I'm like, it's just a spider. They trying to pull me. Mona, it's a spider. I'm like, okay, it's a spider.
I'm pretty sure it was one of those really big-bodied orb weavers. And those look like crabs. They look like little crabs, and they will just be in the middle of like the air. So
I came to the rescue.
I get kidnapped by those things. Like,
oh my goodness. But it's not a hard one.
It's not bugs. It used to be, when you were younger, it used to be dogs. But you're not.
Yes. Oh, it used to be dogs. When I was younger, I was terrified of dogs. It didn't matter really what size. I was terrified of dogs growing up. But it's not dogs anymore. I like dogs. I'll put it like this though. There are two particular dogs that it's not that I was afraid of them, but they were like, I called them bears. They were the guard dogs. Yeah. I'm not afraid of dogs, but I'm very cautious around big dogs I don't know. All right. I'll give you a hint. Whenever we go, y'all the only ones up in it. I'm the only one that's really like, yeah, I'll stay here. This should not be hard. My fears.
I'm trying to think. The deep side of the water?
Yes, of course.
I'm like, I'm trying to think. Like, I probably got on one hand the stuff that I don't like. Well, they say the deep side of the water, yeah, because when we were at the beach and it was the waves of the water, you didn't like going into the waves. I
do not play. So we would go to the beach. We would go for family vacations, and it had nothing to do with me getting my hair wet. It had everything to do with those waves are not my friends. And she said she was about to say water. Well, you were going to absolutely be right. But it's deep water. It's deep water. I love getting in a pool. I love all that stuff. But the ocean, no, ma'am. No, sir. My son would just be in that water, and I was just looking like, and I would have my toes in the water. I'm like, yeah, that's about as far. They do lakes. I'm like, and our father, he can swim like a fish. Mm-hmm. He doesn't even open his eyes in the water, but he can swim like a fish. I'm just like, y'all have at it. Oh, you're scared of water too? Oh my goodness gracious. You can float in 4 feet. Look, that's good. As long as you can float, you have an advantage. Absolutely. But yeah, I don't play with no big bodies of water, no lakes, no oceans. It's only pools. And then what's the other one? My favorite pool. The one that takes you in a circle and it's kind of warm.
I want to call it the lazy river.
Is it the lazy suit? No, lazy Susan is a chair, right?
That's what I'm getting confused with. I'm like, is that what you put the seasoning on?
Oh, yeah. So it's a pool that you get in one of those tubes, and it just takes you around in a circle, and the water is usually warmer. I like those pools, and I like the ones you actually have to put some work in. I really do. But you also, when I was a little girl and we went to the lake, one of the things that really scared me was I was on a big rock standing and looking in the lake. My father, he's swimming, and I promise you, he's literally coming up out of the water like this. And I'm just looking like, while his eyes are closed. I'm like, how do you even know where you're going? But I was standing on a rock, and then I looked in the water, and I thought I saw a stingray. I thought I saw a stingray. Now that I'm older, of course, well, I knew a little later than that, but I knew it wasn't a stingray as I got older. But there's something about stingrays that just kind of they freak me out a little bit. They are beautiful because I believe they're the most highest creatures, but they make my skin crawl just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm not saying they're bad creatures, but me and them, we're not friends. We're not friends. I thought I saw one, and y'all, I was scared. She said, "Do you like water slides at water parks?" As I think of it, I can't see being in a slide with water. Now, the water parks or the water shooting up in the pool, yes. But as far as a tube, me in the water, no, I don't. I wouldn't do it. It would have to be one of the ones that aren't closed. You know, the tube slides, sometimes they're closed. It's a big no for me.
I have to second that. No, because I'm just like, I have to hold my breath twice.
She said that's how the Crocodile Dundee. Yep, he was killed by a stingray. I remember that. And I was like, watch it. Yeah, we were watching it. He was on there talking, and it got him right in the heart. That was really heartbreaking. Because again, I think stingrays are, I think they're great creatures, but no. And if you love water parks, that is beautiful. It's not my thing. I just can't pull myself to it. Maybe, later in the future. Maybe, but
that was my bread maker beeping. Sorry, y'all. I don't know how loud or how sharp that was. Okay, that was my bread. My bread is ready.
Okay, so this is one. It's 2 more questions left. We can go ahead and get these out the way. I can let you choose out of the last 2. Not the feet one. We can skip that one. Sorry, we skipped that one.
The feet one. You probably already know the answer. Well, I don't know.
It's not. I don't think it's scared. It's more so like of a cautious thing. It's more of a cautious thing. I love anywhere with water. That is beautiful. I pray embrace that. Embrace it. Maybe I'll overcome those things. I did overcome my fear of dogs, so who knows? I might overcome my fear of water slides. I don't know about that one. Well, go ahead. What question do you want?
I think I'm gonna do the one after the foot one. Like that, I think that one is funny because it's like I feel like I know who this question is for.
I think
it might have to be one for the crowd or for the audience, and then see what it. So this next question is: which of us is more likely to lose their phone?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, let's see. For those that are listening, which of us out of the sisters is more likely to lose their phone? Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, I gotta think about it and see. Kind of put certain situations and scenarios together of like, okay, give everybody a chance to see though. Which of us is more likely to lose their phone?
Yes. Which of us? I know it may seem like a random question. But you never know. You might be able to tell just by looking at us. You never know. Let's see if you get it right. You don't know until you try.
You're right. That was one of the questions that we asked before, and they were spot on with it. They was like, "We think the sister in the blue," and I was like, "Oh, was talking about the pink either."
Do you see that?
I can't see it. Did she vote me?
Yes. I don't know why you can't see them. Oh, you should be able to see them now. Can you see them now?
Yes.
On your screen.
I'll see them.
Said probably Yasmin. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Let's see. Let's get one more answer. Who is more likely to lose their phone? That's a very interesting answer.
And I would definitely have to ask Why me? We'll see.
More than Ani said probably Yasmin. Well, she did say probably. She didn't say 100%. She said probably. All right, let's see. Who is more likely to lose their phone? And if you don't want to answer because you don't feel like you know us enough or you're not familiar with us enough, that's perfectly fine. But hey, you got to give it a shot. You got to give it a shot. So more than Ani said probably Yasmin is more likely to lose her phone. All right. So I'll go ahead and answer. I think that that is absolutely correct. I think that my sister is more prone to lose her phone.
I don't think so.
Well, who has broken their phone more in the past?
Okay, now I'm sorry. If we're talking about breaking phones, I am guilty as charged with breaking phones. Phones just they happen to be made of butter on the back, and I will go to pick up my phone, and next thing I know, it's airborne like Spider-Man.
Oh my goodness, I can't tell you how many times I saw myself. I'm like, how did you drop the phone? That thing is just butter in her hands.
I think that Nasika Amuna would be more likely. That was a question for the chat. Oh, yes. We were asking the chat who, like, which out of us would be more likely to lose their phone?
Yes.
I think I'd be more likely to break mine because I can't think of ever leaving my phone anywhere and forgetting it. But I think Nasika Amuna has left her phone.
Left my phone where? Where have you left it?
When I at the store. I had to call you, and someone picked up. Remember?
No, wait, that was not my phone. That was a Hoobie. Somebody ended up grabbing his phone. Me and my Ish were shopping. When me and my Ish were still living in Georgia, we were shopping at Kroger, and somebody ended up calling, and because we have the same Instagram, remember it will call the same Instagram.
Okay.
He was in the store and a gentleman grabbed his phone. Remember? Because I was driving next to the person drove next to us that actually grabbed his phone. So she called the phone and Norma each picked up the phone. It was a random stranger picked up the phone. So that wasn't my phone.
Oh, okay. Well, I apologize.
Shalom, welcome in.
Yeah, shalom. So I'm trying to think. Wait, have you left your phone?
I'm trying to think. I don't recall leaving my phone.
I don't either. I don't recall really. I feel like I've had to help call other people's phones versus having my phone be called because it was lost. So I don't know. I feel like we might be kind of equal on that one, on that question.
Okay, that might be an equal question. That's fair. All right, what's the last question? I think that one's for me, right? And when we say we skip a feet question, the feet question was like, what's the size of your shoe? And just because that's we wasn't gonna go into that on live television. So if y'all heard a feet question, we just want to put it out there. That's what it was.
It wasn't about feet pics.
All right. Well, what is my favorite type of music? Oh, Shalom, Papa. He just said yep, and I don't know what he said yep to. Welcome in, Papa. This is our father, our biological father, Elder Metathias. All right. So what is my favorite type of music?
Your favorite type of music? Do you really have just one, or do you just want me to try and narrow it down to one?
I don't have. She's right. She asked that question because I don't have a favorite genre of music.
So yeah, like you like different genres of music and like different styles and things, and it's like just to try and choose one. I would say R&B, but you also like your pop songs. Like, you know, you be having your pop girl.
Like, first you have to say, what pop songs do I like? You got to call it out if you say I like pop songs.
What songs? I mean, I guess that would just really depend, but I thought we'll just talk about like what type or style of music. Because I just can't think of just one style of music that you like. Like you like or have a playlist of each genre. Maybe like one song from every genre and the playlist. So I would have to say you just like the. Well, I feel like if there's one that I remember you would listen to quite a lot, it will be like Afro pop and Afrobeat style.
Yeah, I do like my Afro pop. Yeah, she's right. I do like my Afro pop.
So
But it's yeah,
I would
that's
have to
the
say
pop.
that's the one come that would come to mind. Again, you like a lot of them, but I do remember you doing you listening to a lot of like the Afro pop and the Afro style, Afrobeat music.
That is true. Because you honestly, even though I sing, I sing I would say truth R&B. Um my sister probably listens to more R&B than I do, quite naturally. And my Ish, I got onto R&B because my Ish, he is an R&B singer, R&B writer. Of course, he can write any outside and he can write any genre. But me, like I say, I wouldn't. It's many. It's many. So I don't consider acoustic guitar country music. That, but I play acoustic guitar a little bit here. I play the keyboard, so that's why it's a mixture. As a musician, I don't confine myself to one genre. That would that would be yeah, tying my hands down. But yes, you all, we hope you all enjoy the topic of discussion. And if you are not familiar with what we went over, we're getting ready to end so that we can continue doing what it is that we have to do. One of those things is prepare dinner. So we talked on stranger, pause, danger. Because again, I don't put it that all strangers are dangerous. That's not the case. But what we are trying to bring is awareness to our sisters, awareness to our women, our community, that if you are by yourself and you're traveling by yourself and you're unaware, or you just think, well, I could never be kidnapped, it we just put the awareness out there that statistically women are targeted at a higher rate, especially if you are alone. Predators, they usually go for what they believe is the weakest link. It's not saying that you are weak, it's not saying that you are incapable, but if you have someone attack you and you're blindsided, you're caught off guard, you have a less chance of getting away. And again, we open this app and you all can attest to it. If you have people that are sharing awareness, a little girl, a young girl, our people are going missing every other day. And it's disheartening. In the state that I live in, I'm not sure about Virginia's statistics, but you all, trafficking it exists. It's done behind closed doors. It's done secret. It's done to where you can't really tell where it's going on or what's happening, but it's out there. Trafficking does exist. Different types of trafficking, whether it's for um, labor or whether it's sexual trafficking. These things do exist, and our women need to be aware of it. People think that because they're not a certain size or a certain age, that, well, that takes me out of the category. No, it does not. No, it does not. It doesn't take you out of the category. So we just say get apps that you can have with your family or your friends so you can keep up. Have people that know your whereabouts. Have people that know when things are not normal for you. Have people that are like, okay, that's not their pattern. Something must be going on. Again, even if it's a false alarm, it's better to have people in your life that know if something is going on. You have people outside of law enforcement that might be able to get to you. Because again, law enforcement is there to help, but also as a people, this is what we're for. We don't put everything in their hands. We're supposed to do something. We're supposed to do something. And if we can do preventive maintenance, then we're definitely going to do it. And we're not just saying that, it's things that we actually practice and things that we actually do with our own husbands, with one another, with people in our community. If we're leaving an event, for example, like my sister said, and there might be a sister there who's traveling by herself or with her children, or even if it's a couple, hey, everyone, let us know when you get home, especially if they're traveling a far ways out. Let us know when you get home. It's as simple as that. All right. And with that being said, we hope you all enjoyed it. Please go back and watch it if you did not get to catch it from the beginning. And yes, those are my closing remarks. My sister, would you like to say something before we close out?
I think you definitely said Pretty much everything I was thinking about is just having that accountability, um, self accountability, accountability for one another, and I would say that consideration. It's like um, the quicker I believe we can act on things like this, with being able to keep up with one another, the more steps we can take towards making sure that there's safety in our communities and making sure that we can help keep up with one another. Because like once we keep this like accountability train going, then we have everybody on board and we can make sure that we have a strong connected community. And just a thought that came out when just saying that, if we can also be connected and keep tabs on where one another are, um, in the different places, you never know what you might be able to say or see in an area. Like, hey, this is what I've noticed in my area. This is what I've noticed in that area. Sometimes we'll get news for each other's locations, what's going on. So if we can keep each other in the know about what's going on, then it's like we can help even more keep each other safeguarded. And I believe that can also help with expanding. It's like, hey, I've noticed this was going on in this area, or this young lady is missing in your area. We can help kind of keep eyes in different locations. So I believe it's both networking, security, and making sure we can look after one another, like all, in the same bunch. But say who.
All right, Toda for that. That was definitely very helpful. Again, you all, please, 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 please be aware if you can. We're both on Facebook. We're both tagged. If you all have some topics you would like us to touch on, and especially concerning the safety and protection of our women, feel free to comment. Feel free to share some topics that might be great for us to go over. Because again, this is something that is happening. And if we can do something to take those numbers down a notch, then we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Our safety is very important. All right. And with that, Toda Rabah, thank you all so much for tuning in to Fabz Chat, where the topic was stranger danger. Oh, wow. I'm glad we did not close out just yet at 14. All praises to the Supreme King. All praises to Yah that you are here. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Wow, you came in right on time at the right one. Hallelujah. So that awareness is real. Because hallelujah. Hallelujah that you are here. Hallelujah. That's right. Join in on the praise, because that is something to truly praise the Most High about.
Came.
Hallelujah, y'all. She said she is still here. Oh, our pleasure. Basimka, our pleasure. And you enjoy the rest of your day as well.
Yes.
All right. Shalom, shalom, everyone. And Toda, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank y'all for choosing this day, this time to be with us. We will be back, Supreme King willing, on the next Wednesday to talk about another discussion with Fabz Chat. All right. Shalom, shalom, everyone.
Shalom, shalom. Lila Tov.
Lila Tov.
I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. I see a dream, that dream is green. And I don't mean material things. Freedom to the land, child, woman, and man. As we take up for what we stand, better days and better nights. As we stand and unite, we're one and the same. Why is it so hard not to point and to blame? Better sheet, get our houses in order and we'll see the peace. There are steps that we must take if we want to see.
I see my people rising, no more stopping us. A couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us.
The sake of us, the sake of us.
I see my people rising, no more stopping us. A couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us. No more failing, telling, being beneath. I miss it. At least I wasn't part of the mission, changing lives of men, women, and children. All glory goes to He that causes us all to be. Oh, and if they're thinking we can, we show them that just as long as we stand a monument, we the people can't be broken as long as we stay focused. I see my people rising, no more stopping us. A couple billion acres across America, us, the peace rose for the sake of us. For the sake of us. I see my people rising, no more stopping us. A couple billion acres across America, us, the peace rose for the sake of us. I see